this is your first section of Chapter 6, Solving Equations, and this is your first activity for your self-paced module 6.1. So please, if you have any questions on this, flag me down, let me know that you need help, because this whole chapter, and especially this section, is so important to know for algebra. Okay, I cannot move you any further in math if you don't know how to do this concept. So not to put any pressure on you, but this is super important. So if you have any questions at any time, please, please, please let me know. So I want to take you back to the beginning of the school year where we were solving one-step equations, and you guys rocked at this. So if you look at these two examples, these are things that we have done before. It just took one step to solve it. So it's multiplication. So to get x all by itself, you are dividing, doing the opposite operation to get x all by itself. So in this equation, x was equal to 4. Okay, this should be a review for you. This one, to get x by itself, the opposite operation would be addition. So we would do the same thing on both sides. Negative 9 plus 9 is nothing. So x is equal to 19. Okay, one-step equations are nice, simple, easy, and then we're moving up in the world now, and today's lesson is going to walk you through how to solve two-step equations. So let's go ahead and get started. This first one here has a couple different operations that we're going to talk about. Sorry, let me figure out where the heck I am here. So the first thing I want you to do is look for the variable. So the variable is on this side. There it is. Getting c by itself. Go ahead and draw your line, separate your sides. So we want to get c all by itself. There's two things happening to c right now. It's being divided by 2 and subtracted by 13. So whenever you have two steps, the first thing you're going to ask yourself is, what is closest to c? And right now it's going to be this 2. So I'm going to leave that alone for right now. Okay? The easiest thing to get rid of right now would be this minus 13. So to do that, just like I had been doing, I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to add 13 on both sides. Negative 13 plus 13 is nothing. So what I'm left with on this side is c over 2 is equal to 20. Okay? So I got rid of that. Now it looks more like my one-step equations, which is kind of nice. So now all that's happening is c is being divided by 2. So the opposite would be to multiply both sides by 2. Multiply by 2. 2 divided by 2. Those cancel out. So I'm left with c is equal to 40. Once you have the variable all by itself on one side of the equation, that is when you are finished. So some important things to remember. Circle that variable, get the easiest thing away first, okay? Then you are going to write out both of your steps. It's very, very, very difficult to do these in your head, okay? So it's important that you show all of your steps, break it down one step at a time. So let's look at number 2. Looks a little different. So I'm going to circle my variable. I want to get x by itself, and right now it's kind of close to this negative 8 here, so I'm just going to circle that term. So that's what I need to get by itself, that x. So the first thing, the easiest thing to get rid of would be this minus 7. So in order to do that, I'm going to add 7 on both sides. Notice that I'm not getting rid of the coefficient here, ever. Whatever's right next to it, you never do that first. Okay, it's not going to work. So negative 7 plus 7, that gets rid of that. So I'm left with negative 8x is equal to 64. So I have my one-step equation now. I got rid of that 7. So now the opposite of multiplying by a negative 8 would be to divide both sides by a negative 8. So those cancel out, equals 1. So x is equal to a negative 8. Okay. Let's scroll down and do a couple more examples. Number 3 looks a little strange. It's a bit backwards. So again, always start by circling the term with your variable. My n's here. I'm going to actually circle this whole term. okay, because that's where the n is. Okay, n is being divided by 7, negative n. So the first thing, the easiest thing to get rid of on the side of the variable would not be a 7. Okay, the easiest thing to get rid of would be this 15. So you might be asking yourself, well, doesn't this go with this? It doesn't. This negative goes with the n over 7. Whatever's in front of it is what it goes with. So to get 15, get rid of that on this side and move it over here. This right now is a positive 15. So to get rid of it, I would do the opposite, minus 15. Minus 15 on both sides. So 15 minus 15, 0. Those cancel out, and that's what I wanted. And then 13 minus 15 would give us a negative 2. So what's left on this side, these are gone. So I'm left with a negative n over 7. All right? So now it's a one-stepper, so I want to get rid of this 7. So it's being divided, so I'm going to multiply 7 on both sides. So I'm left with negative n is equal to negative 14. Now this one I threw in here, and that was kind of mean of me because this is actually a 3-step problem. Because you might notice, n's not completely by itself. Okay, it's got that negative. And that's kind of like a negative 1. So we have a little bit more work to do here, folks. We have to get rid of that negative 1n. It's being multiplied. So the opposite would be to divide by negative 1. So n is equal to a positive 14. So that was a doozy. That was a 3-stepper instead of a 2-stepper. So you will see that sometimes. Let's move to number 4. So we have, draw a line. This is our term we're trying to get by itself. So I need to get rid of this positive 10. It's a positive 10 because there's nothing in front of it, so it's just a 10. So to get rid of that, we're going to minus 10 on both sides because 10 minus 10 is 0, so those are gone. I'm left with negative n. If it makes you feel better, you can put that 1 there. Negative 1n is equal to 12. And I have one more step because your variable is not all by itself unless if you've got this negative here, so we have to get rid of that. So it's being multiplied by negative 1, so the opposite would be to divide by negative 1. So n is equal to negative 12. All right. Hopefully you're getting the hang of this now. I think there's one left, maybe. Nope. One more for us to do, and then one for you to do on your own. So this one looks a little strange. It's a little tricky, but let's walk through it. So here's my variable. I'm actually going to circle this because that's got something on top that we want to leave alone for now. So we have x plus 2 divided by 5 is equal to 7. Well, think about it. What's the easiest thing to get rid of first that's not part of this up here, x plus 2? The easiest thing is going to be to get rid of this divided by 5. So the opposite of dividing by 5 would be to multiply 5 on both sides. So now these are gone. 7 times 5 is 35. So what I'm left with now is x plus 2, which is a much easier problem to solve. So we're going to get x by itself by doing the opposite. So minus 2, x is equal to 33. All right, guys. So there's your intro to solving equations with 2 steps. Please, you are not going to get credit for this activity if you do not fill out the form that's below this video. So there are 3 questions that you have to answer, and one of them is what is the answer to this problem. So you're going to try this on your own and put it in that form in the questions below. So please let me know if you have questions. You cannot move on to the next activity until you fill out this form. All right, good luck.